Hello, today's Bible study comes from Romans chapter 7, um, verses 15 through 20, and it reads as follows. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me. For I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out, for I do not do the good I want to do. But the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. Now if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is the sin living in me that does it. Wow. Okay, so Paul is talking to them, and he's talking to them about what they do with their sins. For what I am doing, I do not understand, and it's addressing that it's not that he doesn't want to do it; he's just having a problem. He wants to do the good thing, the right thing, and what I will to do that I do not practice. See, the problem isn't that we don't know what sin is. He he's saying you know right from wrong. It's your lack of power, and we don't have power on our own. We don't. We are wicked on our own. So it's the lack of to do it by yourself. And it's how to perform what is good. I do not find. And what he's saying is that the law doesn't give you any power. It doesn't give you power to do right or wrong. Um, and it definitely doesn't give you power to do right. It does expose you to sin. It shows you your sin. And it tells you, hey, this is what the Lord said not to do, and you better not do it. But what it doesn't do, what it doesn't do is it doesn't give you power. It is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. Paul, Paul is telling you, hey, if you know Christ, I recognize that when I sin, I'm going against Jesus. He says, I know this. And as he sins, his body and his flesh are fighting. His spirit and his spirit and his flesh are fighting. He tells you later on, I think it's in Galatians where he speaks to the spirit and the flesh are constantly at war. So he's going against his new marriage to Christ. And we have to say yes, we sin. That's why we repent. Christians sin. We do sin. But know that that doesn't come to us from Jesus Christ. That comes to us from our flesh. When we married to Christ, we chose a new way, but we are still a fleshly being. We have to get away from sin and do our best not to be in sin. Because he says, it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. So there is still sin in us. And Paul's not hiding it. And when he ends this section in verse 20, at the end, when it says, but it is sin living in me that does it. That's that fleshly part that wants to do the worldly. And remember, The world is enmity against the Lord. So he's telling you that sin that's in you wants to do things, but call on the spirit side. Call on a new marriage. Call to Jesus Christ. Because we have the desire to do what is good. But you will not carry this out. You will not do this on your own. You have to call on Jesus. You cannot do this on your own. And the law does not give you power towards it. The law just tells you or exposes you to your sin and what not to do. But like we've been saying, sin was before the law. Know that. So when Paul is addressing them, he's talking about someone of the helplessness that is between the two. You know, he's having problems with it because being obedient is a struggle. Being like Christ is a struggle because you fight to be more Christ-like. Sinning we can do waking up, but try to be like Christ. Try to turn that other cheek. Try to have that patience. Try to show that kindness, even in the face of unkindness, of uncompassion, of hatreds, of racisms, of all these things that we try to be more Christ-like against. It's hard. So know that Paul is talking about the struggle here, and the struggle of obedience in our own strength. In our own strength, we are helpless. But when we call on Jesus, we can win. Amen.